Okay, guys. So, as the question reads out, Chris is responding to a security incident that compromised one of his organization web server. He believes that the attacker defaced one or more pages on the website. Okay, what cybersecurity objective did this attacker violate? So let's say, for example, you can see it up in the question by itself. It's saying it up that the attacker has defaced one or more pages. Correct? Okay. So if that is the situation, you can see it of confidentiality. Okay. I would say confidentiality is looking into some kind of a piece of a data which you are not authorized for. But in the question, it's specified up that the attacker has defaced, right? Tempered. You can say that tempered in place. Okay. So definitely confidentiality is not the correct answer here. Then comes the non-repudiation. Definitely non-repudiation is not the correct answer as well. Integrity, yes, absolutely. Integrity is the correct answer. But always remember, guys, whenever you are preparing for the certification, specifically with the CompTIA, okay, you need to keep this thing in mind that the CompTIA does not look for the best correct answer. They look for the best answer because what can happen is that most of the time in your respective questions you can get two correct answer. Okay, and definitely for sure when you will be sitting for the examinations you will be seeing this kind of situation in place. Always remember you have to select the best answer. In this situation integrity is the best answer. So but always remember that as by the questions integrity is fulfilling all the criteria. Still I will like to go with the third option, the D1. I would like to explore it up as well. Okay, so make this kind of an habit always to explore all the options in place. And once you have gone through all the options in place, then select the best possible answer. Okay, then D is the availability. No, so absolutely not. D also does not does not fulfill the requirement what's set in the respective questions. So we have the correct answer is the C is the integrity. And I see multiple people giving up, A or B or multiple options in place. Till the time it's not mentioned in the question that you have to select at least two or three options out of the following, it's not recommended. Okay, by default remember you have to select only one till the time it's not mentioned into the question. Okay, so it is one, guys, it's audible right for everyone. Please confirm. Okay, thanks. Right. If anyone is facing any sort of an audio issue, I hope it's perfectly fine from my side. Okay, I would request you please that you can look from your side in place. Okay, thank you. Right. So yes, integrity, guys, is the correct answer. Okay, please keep this thing in mind. Till the time it's not mentioned into the question, by default it is, you know, by default it is only one out of the one options you have to select. Okay, yeah, again guys, if you are facing any sort of an issue related to your respective volume in place, it's fine from my side. Please look into your side in place. Okay, great. Okay, so here is the another thing you see, the second questions, which of the following is a function of an hypervisor? Okay, guys, the question says which of the following is the function of an hypervisor. Okay, so we have a concept, guys, which is called by the name of virtualization. Okay, and using up the particular principle of virtualization, what you can do is that you can have a one single piece of an hardware, okay, which can host multiple operating system, multiple, not just one or two, but you can host multiple operating system or that single piece of an hardware, and that is called the virtualization. It means that in a single laptop you can hold multiple operating system, right? And then that's a super good thing. I would say virtualization is the backbone of the modern cloud computing. If there is no virtualization, today's cloud computing would not be possible. So what really happens is that you have a single piece of a laptop, and that laptops contain one OS operating system. This is OS 1. This is another operating system, right? Present in single system, right? Okay. So in order to achieve the virtualization, you have a concept of something which is called by the name of an hypervisor. Okay. So using up this particular piece type of software which is called the hypervisor, you can perform the virtualization in your local system. Okay, so which of the following is a function of an hypervisor? The first is A, to manage physical hardware resources. No, right? To create virtual machine, yes, exactly, right? But always remember, please keep this thing in mind. I've seen students doing this kind of a mistake in previous guys, that they see that okay, B looks fine as per the question, they will stick stop here, and in a hurry they will be just assuming that this is a question. Always remember this, I will keep on repeating it up, right, multiple times, that in the question, in the examination, your job is not to find the correct answer. Your job is to find the most appropriate answer out of the following. So you will only come to the conclusion that this is the most appropriate answer out of the following when you explore all the options. So first of all, even if I get the vibe that okay, that B is the correct answer, but still I will be exploring the other options as well, like C and D. Okay, so the B is to create a virtual machine. Okay, fine. Okay, but let's see for others as well. C, to provide access to the virtual machines. No. And then D is to manage network traffic. No. Right? Okay. So the correct answer in this kind of situation is going to be, guys, B, to create the respective virtual machine. Okay, great. Now let's, so guys, this is our third question. Please go through it. And guys, whenever you're giving up this particular option or A, B, or C, or D, it's my humble request. Please provide the explanation as well. Okay, that will be helping you build up a better clarity. Question says Sonia is concerned about the risk that an attacker will attempt to gain access to her organization database server. Okay, so this concern you have, attacker will gain access to the database server. Fine. She is searching for a control that would discourage the attacker from attempting to gain the access. So she wants to discourage. Okay, perfect. So that's the first topic. See, if you understand what the question says, right, and the keywords in the question, like I have identified, I underline them as well, right? You definitely for sure half of the battle is won, right? In that case. So this kind of thing you see it up. It says discourage the respective attacker from attempting to gain the access. Okay, which what type of security control is she seeking to implement? One is a preventive control. Definitely, preventive control is a great control. It prevents something from escalating further or even happening something, right? Okay. But preventive control is not going to fulfill this kind of thing. It will not discourage the attacker, right? That's the thing. It can prevent the attackers. It can, contain the attacker. Those kind of things can happen here, but not discourage the attacker. Okay. So this is not the correct answer. Perfect. Then we have the detective control. Detective control is to detect if something is going on in your respective system or the architecture. Some, a malicious person has hacked into a respective system in place that you need to just look into. That falls into the detective category, right? So that's great. That is definitely for sure an important part of your architecture. But again, I told you that is not talking about the discouraging. Okay, this will not discourage the attacker, but it will help you in notifying that okay, there is some kind of a malicious person which has entered the organization, and based upon that you can take proper measures. So the detective control is a great security control, but not fulfilling what's given up in the question. Okay, then you have to see the corrective control. Corrective control means to correct a situation. It means that if in your respective organization or in your respective laptop a hacker has hacked into your respective laptop, so now your job is that in the corrective control to just kick out that particular hacker or a malware or a virus from your system and make it back to normal. Okay, that is called the corrective control. Fine. So if your system is being infected by a malware, by a Trojan, by a keylogger, by a spyware, any kind of a malware, you're just getting remove of it. Let's say, for example, we all have at some point in time performed the antivirus scan in place, right? So antivirus performs the scan, whatever the antivirus, whether it's a paid one or the free one, okay? That antivirus scans that particular system in place and then give you a summary after few hours or few minutes in place that these are the viruses that I have detected in your respective system. Okay, and do you want to delete that or quarantine it, whatever it is? So let's say for example I selected okay, delete all those viruses, all those files that contain this particular virus. That is a perfect example of corrective control. I'm eliminating all those files, all those malwares through the tool which is called the antivirus from my system, and my system is now back to a healthy state. It's kind of removed from any kind of a malware. It's back to normal. Okay, it's now not infected. That is called the corrective control. That is a great control, but again, it is not discouraging the attacker. Okay, so this is not the correct answer here. Then comes the third option, which is called by the name of the deterrent control. So deterrent control, you can see it up, is kind of for there to discourage the attacker. Deterrent control, the perfect example is that, have you if you have seen it up in you know any in any house or any premises, there is written of be aware of dogs, right? That is a perfect example of a deterrent control. Let's suppose there is some thief or someone is there who just wants to enter into that particular premises, correct? And what happens in that kind of a situation is that, let's suppose before entering, even if it's a genuine person, not a thief, I would say, but if it's a guest or someone else, they want to enter the premises, they see that particular board, and now that they will come to a mind that, okay, let's take a step back, let me call the owner, and the owner comes to the gate and just opens the gate and make sure that if there is no dog roaming on freely, and that should not attack you. So that's it, discouraging you up to enter that particular premises. That's called the deterrent control. Clear? Okay. So definitely, guys, in this situation, D is the correct answer. That will discourage a person from taking any kind of step further. Right? Deterrent control. Then, guys, this is the fourth question I have. Please go through it. Okay. So the question says that, what term best describe data? Just a minute. Okay, right? We describe data that is being sent between two systems over a network connection. Okay, so the first set says data at rest. Definitely, see, data is rest is also super important, but remember, it's saying it up that the data is being sent between two system over network connection. Data is rest. I would say the best example of data at rest would be your respective data that is sitting in your hard disk. Okay, so that is not utilized. Data at rest means the data which is just sitting it up idly in your respective hard disk or the SSD, whether it is your tablet, whether it's your mobile phone, whether it's your laptop, whatsoever it is, data that is not utilized, it's just sitting it up in the storage part. That is called data in rest. And the best possible for that would be the encryption. If you want to protect the data in rest, right, just an additional information, the best option you will go for is the encryption. That would be good. Okay, great. So definitely A is the not the correct answer here, right? So let's explore the other one. The another one, it says data in transit. Okay, data in transit means that data going from point A to point B. Correct? So B looks the correct answer, but I have told you multiple times you have to explore the other options as well. Okay. And one more thing, guys, just another information. Data in transit is also called as by the another name of data in motion. Okay. So let's suppose in the examination you can come across data in motion. It is exactly the same thing. Okay. So right now, as per the options we have explored, B looks the correct answer. B is the one. And one of the best protocol we have, there are multiple other protocols in place, but one of the common protocol which and very much famous as well, which is called by the name of HTTPS, right? Hypertext Transfer Protocol Secure, is the one of the protocol, not the only, but one of the very famous protocol we have, which can be used to encrypt that particular piece of data that is going from point A to point B. Okay, that's the thing. So you can encrypt that data which is in a transit phase, going from my end to your receiving end, and in the entire in the middle, it's been in an encrypted format. So even if the attacker somehow hacks into it or captures that packet, he will not be able to understand what this is all about. Okay. Then you have the C, which is called data in processing. See, data in processing is all about data that is being processed, evaluated. Okay, so the data that is now being moving from the hard disk to the respective processor, your processing is analyzing that respective data, or right, and just seeing it up, processing it up. That's what we have, data in processing, the data that is being utilized, that's been understand and structured by a respective processor. That's called data in processing. And data in use, exactly the same thing. So data in processing also has another name of data in use. So the C and D are exactly the same thing. Data that is moving from your respective hard disk to your respective processor. Processor is then processing that critical piece of an information and displaying it over your respective screen, right, in the form of videos or softwares or whatever the output is. Correct? That's it. So the options which definitely uh, fulfill the requirement of the question is this one: the data in transit. Okay, perfect. Now, guys, after this, let's talk about the next question we have. This is the next question. Okay, guys, please go through it. The question says, which organization did the US government help create to share knowledge between organization in specific vertical? Okay, the first is DHS, right? The DHS is your respective Department of Home Security, and this is kind of thing, DHS is mostly for the security of the United States, right? Okay, perfect. Okay, but DHS is not that one in place, right? Okay, it's mostly for mostly immigration is in that in place, right? And then you have the another one which is called the SANS. SANS is also not the organization which the US government created up. Okay, so even if it's a US for profit company, okay, which is specialized in information security and cyber security training. But remember, SANS is not the correct answer as well. Then we have the CERT. CERT is also not the correct answer. And there comes the fourth option, right, which is ISACA, right? Was the organization that the US government helps to create. Okay, so it's a pretty simple one, right? This is the organization, and this is the correct answer as well. Fine. Okay. Now, let's go to the next question, guys. This is another very important question. Please go through it. So it says Nathan works at a school and noticed that one of his staff appears to have logged in and changed grades for a single student to higher grades. Okay, so there's some kind of a tampering. I'm just sensing it up. Perfect. Even in classes that staff member is not responsible for. When asked, the staff members say that they did not perform this respective action. Which of the following is most likely the way that a student could have gotten access to a staff member's password? Or it means that the numbers of a student was compromised, but that particular system, right? The individual, okay, the staff member is denying that, or the teacher is denying that particular thing that they have not done it up. Okay, so definitely the question says that, how would that the student got a particular password of the staff members? It means that unauthorized access has taken place in this case, right? Okay, so first option is keyloggers, correct? Keylogger, guys, is a kind of a malware that when inserted in your respective system would be capturing all the things that you type over the screen whatsoever, right? Let's suppose I just go to the Facebook or to the Instagram or any other social media platform or Twitter, right, and I type my username and a password. If a keylogger is, guys, installed in my system, what will happen is that the keylogger would retain all the keystrokes that I have made. Fine. That's what the job of the keylogger is, to retain all the keystrokes that you have done, right? Any message that you're typing it up, pin, OTP, or security questions, whatsoever it is, keyloggers retain all of them and then transfer it to their respective owner, whoever their hacker is, to whom that the particular credentials would be passed on, right? That's the thing. Okay, so let's look good that the keylogger can be the correct answer. The student would have, with the wrong intention, would have installed a keylogger, right? Okay, into the system of a teacher. So this is, I looks like that A could be the correct answer, but again remember, let's explore the other options as well. Then you have something, guys, which is called by the name of a rootkit. Okay, rootkit is a kind of a malware in place which completely hijack your system, okay, at the boot level. Okay, so definitely that's not the correct answer for that as well. Okay, then we have the spyware. Spyware is a kind of a malware that whole objective is to spy upon you, any sort of an activity, not just keystrokes. See, keylogger job is to have the keystrokes that you made over the laptop in place. But spyware, guys, job is to spy completely upon you, even where your cursor is moving, fine, in which website you're visiting it up, your entire screen, your entire system is being monitored by some hacker sitting up completely far apart. That's what a spyware does. Okay, it can have an access to your respective camera. He can open up your camera at any point in time, right? And start up the recording, capturing of the images, delete a file, that everything that can be done by spyware. And then comes the third option, which is the logic bomb. Logic bomb is also very interesting kind of malware, guys. Logic bomb is a malware. It is a piece of a code in layman language. It's just a piece of a code written in any language. It could be in any language: Python, Java, C, C++, Go, Ruby, whatever it is. But the logic bomb is a kind of a malware written it up in any language, and that code get executed when a certain conditions are met. That's it. So it means that normally a logic bomb in a dormant state would be sitting it up in your system. Let's suppose, with an example, let me tell you. Let's suppose today my system gets infected, guys, with a logic bomb. Okay, great. So now what happened in that situation is that this piece of code will be sitting it up in my system for months, for days to come, correct? Without doing even anything. It's just a file, just a code, just sitting it up in my system in place. Even I have done multiple time the antivirus scan. It was not anything that the you know antivirus would be flagging it as malicious in place, right? Okay, so it will definitely for sure not be considered something very suspicious. It's going to just keep there in a dormant state, right? Not doing any kind of an activity, not infecting a file, not deleting the file, none of it. Correct. Okay. So what happened after that? Let's suppose a condition in the logic bomb is being mentioned. See, the logic bomb, if I just write it down, it consists of two things: code and the condition. So code get only executed when the condition is there. Let's suppose the condition that's been mentioned in that particular logic bomb is that when Amit boots up his system three times. Okay, when I restart or boots up my system three times, the fourth time when I'm doing it up, right, the condition is met. Okay, and now this code will execute. The fourth time when I will be running or restarting my system in place, this code will get executed. And what will happen is that, or what you can also do is you can specify the time duration as well. You can say that, okay, this is a piece of a code, but this code get executed only on a condition where on, let's suppose, on 30th of August, right? So that's the condition you're specifying it up. So the code in a normal setup right now would be just sitting it up in a dormant state without even touching any file or folder, just lying there. But the code gets executed on the 30th of August, and then whatever you have specified in that particular code, multiply, or delete the file, encrypt the file, whatever it is, you perform this kind of an activity. So that is called the logic bomb. Okay. So as per the question, it's reading it up. It says that the how would the student could have get an access to that particular password? Keyloggers looks the much more appropriate in this case. Okay. So guys, keylogger is the correct answer for this respective question. Okay. So now let's go to the next question. Okay, so let's see what the question says. The question says that Mike discovered that attackers have left software that allows them to have remote access to system on a computer in his company's network. Okay, how would you describe this? How would you describe or classify this respective malware? Fine. See, attacker has left software that allows them to have a remote access to a system on a computer. Okay, so this is kind of a characteristic property that we have to look for out of the following. See, worm, this is not a property of a worm, it looks like, right? Allows to have a remote access to a system on a computer in place. Worm characteristic property, I have to tell you, worm is kind of a malware which has a property to self propagate without any intervention of a human being. Let's suppose what happens is that my system gets infected by a worm. Okay, next tomorrow morning I go to the office and attach my system with my Wi-Fi of my office in place. What will happen is that Now the worm will go to the Wi-Fi or to the router, and then all the PC that are attached to the respective routers would be infected. That's the thing. So it means that all the systems which are part of that network, which I am connected to, will also get infected by a worm. So worm is a very dangerous thing. It automatically self-propagates itself. Okay, that's what we have in the worm. Okay, so the worm does that's not a thing that should be defined in the worm part. Then you have guys something which is called by the name of crypto malware. Okay, so crypto malware, what is there? Guys, have you heard about something which is called by the name of cryptocurrency? Can anyone go ahead and explain me what a cryptocurrency is all about? So let's very prominent. We have Dogecoin, fine, which was kind of promoted by Elon Musk. Then we have this, Bitcoin, okay, which was a very famous one as well. Still, and there are others as well in the market. Keep on coming it up every single day. You can see it up. Okay, so remember that what happens is that those cryptocurrencies you have, guys. Okay. So the cryptocurrency, what happens is, let's say, for example, you want to have a Bitcoin. Okay. So in order to perform this particular Bitcoin, just one coin of a Bitcoin, you have to perform some complex calculation, guys. Right? And you need some high-end configuration system for to perform this complex calculation. And when you get up an answer, you get up a respective Bitcoin. So this is how it works. You perform a complex calculation, and the result in a kind of a reward or result you get up a cryptocurrency. This is kind of, I'm just oversimplifying it up. Okay, it's not exactly how it is, but I'm just oversimplifying just to get up an idea to you guys in place. Okay, perfect. So what happens is that the hackers or any individual, they need multiple systems. See, if this is a hacker, he will be having, this is the first computer he has, this is another computer he has, right? And this is another system he has. So what he is doing is that he is making three systems to perform this complex calculation, and the output of them would be like, say for example, this would be one Bitcoin, this could be another Bitcoin, this could be another Bitcoin. Okay, so see, this machines are powerful machine, and they are running it up for many weeks. And what he do is that he get only three Bitcoins. So what the hackers do is that they want to hack into other systems as well. Let's say for example, hacker sends up a crypto malware, this kind of a malware, and this, let's say for example, if this is Amit PCs, the malware will infect my PC and convert my PC into something, this computer, which will be mining the crypto. And then this particular system would be a slave of this hacker. And then this system would, my own laptop, which for which I have paid my hard earned money, is now going to also fetch Bitcoin as well, and would be sent to this hacker. Okay. So this is called the crypto malware. Correct? It means that this is a kind of a malware which makes or completely take control of your system, eats up your CPU, your RAM, everything, and then use your system to perform the complex calculation and give it up a Bitcoin, not to you, to the hacker. Fine? So that's what happened in this kind of situation. It's called the crypto malware. Okay? So definitely crypto malware is not the correct answer for the situation. Then we have the Trojan. Okay, so Trojan, it provides what? It provides backdoor access, right? Okay, so this is also not the property of a Trojan is. Then you have a backdoor. It says that software that allows them to have remote access to a system on a computer in a company's network. So in this kind of a situation, guys, out of the following, D is the correct answer, the backdoor in place. Okay, perfect. Now, guys, this is the eighth question. Please, guys, go through it. Okay, guys. So let's see what the question says. Right? The question says a recently terminated developer, uh, just a minute, right? JS organization has contacted the organization, claim that they left code in an application that they wrote that will delete file and bring the application down if they are not employed by the company. Okay, so it's saying it up. It's a condition. See, it's saying it up. They have wrote that will delete the file. They've written up a piece of code in an application that will delete the file. Okay, and bring the application down if they are not employed by the company. A condition, correct? Okay. right? So there is a code, there is a condition. Fine, it looks like we are connecting the dots now, right? I had told you about this thing, and it's looked good that most of you have given the correct answer. Very good, everyone. Okay, so what type of malware is this? Okay, in this case, you see that the first thing you have is something which is called by the name of ransomware. Ransomware, guys, the property of a ransomware is to encrypt any piece of an information at the end of the day. Correct. If let's say, for example, my system gets attacked by a ransomware, it will encrypt all the files and the folders. That's what happens in the ransomware. So ransomware, guys, is not the correct answer here. Okay. Then there comes the extortion ransomware. This kind of a ransomware kind of steal your critical information as well. So it has asked, give you this particular thing as well, that we are not just only going to encrypt your data. Okay, we are also going to make it public. So if there is any personal file or folders you have in place, we will take a backup of it, and we will be launching it up over the dark web, something like that. So that's kind of an extortion it's happening it up here. So it's kind of steal your public. So what this particular how this particular ransomware really works, it's work on two phases. One is backup, another one is encryption. It will, so this is kind of your hard disk you have. It will first of all take a backup of your respective hard disk and keep it a copy of it in their respective, I would say, uh, servers, and then they will encrypt your hard disk as well. So you will not be able to access your data, and if you get have received a notification that you have to make a payment in 24 hours, so what will they do? They will, after 24 hours, they are going to publish your data, your files and folders, sensitive files and folders, over the dark web or over the internet, and that is, guys, is not a great thing. Okay, so that's the thing, right? So this is what the extortion ransomware does. Then we have another one which is called the logic bomb. See, the things that we were having in the logic bomb, remember, it's work on code and condition. So as per the options given it up, logic bomb is looks the correct in this situation, but again, remember, we have to explore the other option as well. Then comes the Trojan. So what is this Trojan is all about? Trojan creates the backdoor access. Okay, so there's none of it in this kind of situation. There's no mentioning of a backdoor access. There's mentioning of a code and a condition. So that means that this particular employee which has been terminated, it has inserted up a logic bomb into that particular application. Okay, so this is it. And guys, let's explore the answer is yes, exactly. The answer, guys, for this particular question is the logic bomb. Okay, guys. So this is the ninth question, guys. Please go through it. Okay. So now let's see this question. Okay. The question says that while reviewing her logs, Michelle noticed a remote system has attempted to log into her server by SSH using username admin and a variety of passwords like passwords and ninja. What type of attack has Michelle noticed? Okay, so remember this thing, it's saying it up in the question by itself, using log into the server using SSH, using user admin and variety of passwords. It means multiple attempts were made into it. Okay, like password ninja, this and that. Okay, so what type of attack we are talking about in this kind of situation? The first option come into the in this case is something which is called the brute force attack. Brute force attack, guys, trying every, it means that trying every possible combination. Let's say, for example, saying, okay, the password can be 123, okay, 1234, 12345, whatever it is. So trying every possible combination till the time you reach to the actual correct answer. Okay, that's what the brute force attack. Right now, you see that, okay, Amit, it looks like you're just slowly entering all the three options in place. Fine, but trust me, guys, this brute force attack is initiated by a human but executed by a system. It means that my laptop or my particularly the Kali Linux, I will be using it up to perform the attack, would be executing millions of password over that particular space, okay, in a very short amount of time. So as a human being, definitely for sure, if I just go to the Google and type 123 12344, even in a complete hour, I would be hardly put how many, 40, 50 maximum password. Okay, not more than that, I can say, right? That would be highest I can do. But the system, A computer system can inject or test more than thousands of password in that same period. So mostly that's the reason that the hacker use these powerful systems in place to execute and test and try every possible combinations. Okay, so, as per the question, right, where a brute force attack is taking place, but the attacker is trying every possible. He is just guessing it up, using up the system to just find out what the correct answer is in this particular situation. So this looks good, but okay, always I set it up that let's explore the other option as well. In this case, let's say about shoulder surfing. Shoulder surfing, guys, if I just tell you about shoulder surfing is all about, let's suppose you go to the any sort of an ATM and you're just swiping up your respective card, entering up that four-digit pin or five-digit pin to withdraw some sort of a cash or perform the, you know, some sort of a transfer, right? Okay. What I do is that I'm just standing back to you and I'm just peeping through your shoulders and seeing what is the code, what is the thing that you're writing it up. That is falls under shoulder surfing. It means that I'm just looking what you're typing it up. Okay, that's the thing, right? That's called shoulder surfing, and that's not mentioned in the question itself. Okay. So then it's called the on-path attack. On-path attack is kind of an attack where you intercept a piece of a message which is going from point A to point B. That is also not what's been mentioned in the question by itself. Then there is guys something which is called by the name of pretexting. Okay. So pretexting means it's kind of a social engineering attack, right? Where the attackers kind of create up a fake scenario to trick a victim into giving up sensitive piece of information. If I just give you an example of a pretexting, let's suppose you get up a call from your respective bank saying it up, sir or ma'am, that we have sent or we have get up a notification from our systems that some unauthorized logging was taking place in your respective account. Okay, so can you provide us some uh, credential, sensitive piece of information like the PIN, the OTT, something like that, so we can verify you. If a person is not aware about this kind of an attack, he's has no idea about this kind of social engineering attacks that are going on nowadays, right? Definitely that person will fall victim to that thing. Okay, and what will happen? That poor guy would be falling into a trap and revealing the sensitive piece of information to the attacker. And that's called the pretexting. Okay. The attacker create a fake scenario to trick a victim into giving up a sensitive piece of an information. That is called what's called by the name of a pretexting. Okay. Great. So as per the question that or as per the options given it up, right? The brute force fulfill the requirement. Okay, that's in the equation. So see, brute force is the correct answer because brute force talks about trying every possible combination. Fine, that's what we have here. Okay, great. Now, guys, let's move to the next question. This, guys, is the next question. Please go through it. John wants to detect password spraying attack. What type of rule should she deploy through her security system? So before just jumping into this particular thing of password spraying, you need to understand what actually a password spraying is all about. There are two type of attacks we have which are kind of an opposite to each other, right? Very similar, and I've seen many students getting really confused into that as well. Something, guys, which is called by the name of brute force attack and something which is called by the name of password spraying. So, what is a password spraying and what is actually a brute force attack? Just give me a minute and let me explain it to you. See, let's suppose I have multiple users in place. I'm just first of all right now just telling you what is actually happening in the brute force attack. Then I will be trying to relate to the spraying attack in place. Okay. So in a brute force attack, just a minute. Yeah. In a brute force attack, what happens is that, you have user one, you have user two, and you have the user three. Okay. So you have multiple users in this kind of a situation. Okay. Fine. And let's pick, okay, that would be spring attack. Yeah. Sorry about that. So you have user one, a single user, correct? And in this case, what you're doing is that you're trying every possible combination. Let's suppose every possible combination is what are those every possible combination I would say? In this case, the password 1, P1, then there is another password P2, then there is another password P3, and there is another password P4. So what you do is that you have a username, which is, let's say, for example, amit@gmail.com, something like that. And you're first of all trying the first password. Okay, this is incorrect. Then the hacker is trying the second password. This is incorrect. Then he's trying the third password. That is also incorrect. And then he tries the fourth password, which is correct. This is called the brute force attack, where you have one user, multiple passwords attempts are made into it. Correct? Okay, that's exactly called the brute force attack. Then we have, guys, something which is called the password spring. What is password spring? In password spring, you have only one single piece of a password. Let's say, for example, now you have multiple users. You have user 1, you have user 2, and you have user 3. Okay, and what you do is that in the password spring you keep only one set of password. Let's say password 1, P1 is there, which could be anything. You first of all, and this, let's say for example, this password is 1234 123. So what you do is that you put this particular password or try this password to this user 1. Okay, it's not going. Then you take the same password and apply it and use it on user 2. Not working. Then you take the same password and use it on the person 3, and now it's working there. So you see that this is called the password spring. In this case, you have only one single password which you try on multiple different account. You have your 123 password. You try it over Amit, you try it over Isaac, you try it over Mohan. Okay, fine. And you try it over Thomas, everyone. So same password has been tried over all of it. Correct? Okay, that's called the password spring. Okay, so I hope you got up an idea about the password spring part. Okay, so it says that you want to detect a password string. What type of rule should you deploy through your security system? Okay, here it says match attempts to log into many systems with the same username and password. Okay, so in this case it says that match attempt to log into many systems using the same username and a password. No, that's not the case, right? Fine. Then you have match multiple attempts to log into the same user account with different password. No different password, same password is being used in different account. Okay, so it's kind of, this is, I would say, multiple attempts to log into a same user account with different password. The B is a brute force attack. Okay, let's explore the C one. The C says match repeated use of the same password, guys, same password during fail log attempt for multiple username. So your same password upon multiple users. The same password of 1234 is applied upon multiple individuals, person 1, person 2, person 3, person 4, person 5, and that is, guys, something which is called by the name of a password spring. Okay, then you have the D1. Match all attempts to use password with slight change for the same account. This is also kind of a brute force attack, right? Okay, so in this case, guys, exactly, and I see that many of you have given the correct answer as well. C fulfills the answer. Okay, so I hope you got up an idea about the password spring, everyone. Password spring attack, and what is actually a difference between a brute force attack. Okay, so I hope this is clear with everyone. Please confirm, guys. What is a password attack and what's a brute force attack? Is there anyone who is facing any sort of a difficulty into it? Please let me know, okay? Okay, very good, very good. Perfect, thanks. Great. So that's called the difference. That's the password spring and the brute force attack. Okay, so now, guys, let's move to the next questions we have. Just a minute, let me just show it to you. Okay, so guys, this is our next question. Please go through it. Okay, so let's see what the question says. Okay, just a minute. Okay, fine. So this says that Saleh infects the ads on a website that users from her target company frequently visit with malware as part of her penetration test. What technique has she used in this case? Okay. She has used something which is called by the name of watering hole attack, and this is also, guys, question which is favorite of the interviewers. If you're just about to, uh, I would say, go for the interviews for this particular one in place. Okay. Taha, is the session recorded? Yeah, Taha, it's the session is recorded, but this recording would be not provided, okay, to the students in place. Okay. Uh, so this session by itself is exclusively for those individuals which are live in the session. Okay, perfect. Yeah. And if you face any kind of a query, questions, and if you want to contact me, right, and want to understand any kind of a topic in place, you can just contact me into LinkedIn, right? And I will love to help you out, everyone. Okay, perfect. So that's it, right? So first thing we have in place is watering hole attack. What is actually a watering hole attack? Watering hole attack means that, guys, let's suppose I just, I want to attack you. Okay, so okay, let's suppose what's happened in this kind of situation is that I want to attack to one of my client or one of my friend, okay, using watering hole attack. So what happens is that in that kind of a situation, let's suppose that this is my friend, okay, and this is me. Instead of directly attacking my friend and exposing my IP address, my MAC, all those kind of things in place, what I do is that I get to know using up, social using up this footprinting, I get to know that my friend on a routinely basis visit this company, this website XYZ, or let's say for example Domino's. So what I do is that I hack into Domino's, and when the next day my friend enters this particular website, he's compromised. So this is kind of an indirect attack. You get to know that okay, this is your respective target. The target on a routinely basis visit this respective website, and then what happens is that that particular website you compromise. So when the target visit that website, the Domino's or whatever it is, the next day with a bunch of people, those all these individuals gets compromised and your objective is fulfilled. That is, guys, something which is called by the name of a watering hole attack. Okay. Then you have something that's called wishing. Wishing is phishing over or the spams you get it up over the call. And right, something which is called the whaling attack. Whaling is social engineering performed over the CEO, the CTO. And there's another one, the D1 you seeing it up. It's called by the name of typo squatting. Typo squatting means that writing incorrect spelling. So let's say for example, you have, CompTIA, okay, CompTIA, CompTIA.com. Right, this is an original one. You type it up, you're going to the CompTIA and paste. Let's say, for example, the attacker guys are so smart, what they will do is they will be just, uh, you know, just a minute, guys. They will be exclusively, see, this is kind of a domain name. This is the original, and this one is the malicious, right? So, similar kind of domain name, the hackers are going to register in your name. Let's suppose instead of single O, you have typed double O. What will happen in that kind of situation is, guys, in that kind of situation, you will be redirected to a malicious website. Okay, and then you purchase some kind of a thing, some voucher, something like that, and then you are exposing up your credential to the attackers, and then the attacker can hack into your account, steal your personal information, those kind of things in place, right? That's called the typo squatting, when you intentionally entered the incorrect password, sorry, incorrect any kind of domain name, something like that. You are redirected not to the original CompTIA website but to the malicious one. Okay, so please be aware about what actually is spelling you're putting it up in this case. Okay, so the correct answer, guys, in this kind of a situation is going to be the watering hole attack, where you do not attack the attackers directly, but what you do is that in that kind of a situation you are attacking it indirectly. Okay, right. So guys, this is the 12th questions I have, right? This is clear with everyone. This is, guys, the 12th question. Please go through it. Question says that the question says Melissa received a call, and the caller informed her a senior management in an organization needs her to buy gift card for an event that starts in an hour. The caller says that the senior leaders forget to get the card, and that event is critical to her organization. Okay, Melissa buys that card and send them to the Gmail address the caller says that the senior leader needs them to send to. What type of attack has Melissa fallen in for? The first one is phishing. Okay. Another one is called by the name of pretexting. Right. Okay. And then we have something which is called business email compromise. The D is the carding. So the correct answer for this, guys, is going to be the pretexting. Because a situation was created, okay, and that the poor lady fell into that kind of a trap. So that's called the pretexting. Okay, so correct answer is the pretexting. Fine, this is it. Okay. So always remember, whenever you're facing this kind of a situation in place, always, I would say, first of all, read the situation question at least once or twice, the situation based one, and then you're good to go. Okay. So this is the question we have, and guys, this is the next question. Please go through it. Right. The question says that Elena wants to determine if a password spraying attack was used against her organization. Okay. Which of the following indicators would be the most useful as part of her investigation? So the first is the time the login attempts happen. Okay. The password used for failed attempts, the source IP, the number of failed attempts for each user. And I see most of you have given the correct answer. The D is the most appropriate answer as well. Okay. See, the B can also be the correct answer as well. But again, remember, you have not to choose the correct answer. You have to choose the most appropriate answer. Okay, this is it. So this is it. So the correct answer, guys, in this kind of situation is going to be the D. And I see most of you have given the correct answer. Very good, everyone. Okay, so D is the correct answer. Now, guys, let's go ahead and explore the next question. This is, guys, the next question. Please go through it. Okay, it says Nicole accidentally typed www.amazon.com into her browser and discovered that she is directed to a different site loaded with ads and pop-up. Okay, which of the following is the most appropriate description of the attack she has experienced? The first one is a DNS hijacking. This is not DNS hijacking. Yeah, definitely DNS. What's the role of a DNS? Converting an IP address to a, you know, to a domain name to the IP address. But in this kind of situation, there is nothing has been done with the DNS. The DNS has not been tempered. In this case situation, guys, what is actually happening is the person intentionally has entered the wrong domain name. Okay, so this is perfect example of a spelling mistake, and whenever there is a spelling mistake and you have entered to a malicious one, that's called the typo squatting. Right, so the correct answer in this case is not the farming, it's not the DNS hijacking, it is not host file compromise. Right, okay, all of them, DNS hijacking, farming, and the host file compromise, all of them leads you to direct to a malicious website. But remember, but in this case, the user by has done the thing. The hacker has not done anything. The hacker has just created up a fake website and then registered it, and that's it. The user by himself has entered that wrong username or the domain name, and then he is redirected to the malicious one. Correct? So in this case, guys, the correct answer is going to be the typo squatting. Okay. You're checking the count of the same user. Okay, Sai, in this situation, the 13th question, you see it up, right? Okay. So the correct answer is, the D. Why it is C, the number of failed attempt for each user. If we again read the question, it says that Elena wants to determine if a password spraying attack was used against her organization, which are the following indicators most useful in this particular process. You see that the time the login attempt happened not does not tells you about the spraying attack. It has nothing to do with that. Okay. Spraying attack means multiple individuals, person one, person two, okay, having the same password. So just a minute, if I just let me look at user one and user two. This is user one, and this is a user two, and you have a password one. So password one, you're trying it over the user one, user two, in an kind of an assumption that at some point in time this password would be actually correct, and you will be getting an access to the user in place. So the login time has nothing to do with that. Okay, the password used for failed attempts, This is not the correct answer as well. The source IP address, nothing. It has nothing to do with this as well. The number of failed attempt for each user. This is the most appropriate answer for this situation. The number of failed attempt for each user. Okay, that's what we have in this case. Correct. So this is the most appropriate, the closest you can go to the real example you have. Correct. So this kind of situation. Okay. Now, guys, let's move to the next question. This is the next question, guys, we have. Okay, let's see what the question says in this case, right? The question says that which of the following security assessment technique that an organization has already been compromised and searches for evidence of that compromise. Okay, again, I'm repeating the question. Which of the following security assessment technique assumes that an organization has already been compromised and searches for the evidence of that compromise? Okay, in this case, you can see it up. You have vulnerability scanning, penetration testing, threat hunting, war driving, lots and lots of options, right? So which is that particular thing? The correct answer is, guys, is the threat hunting. Whenever you are performing up the threat hunting, keep this thing in mind that you have to make up an assumption that your system is already compromised and you're still not able to find up the hacker. So you go manually, intentionally, and look for the evidence. You just track them up, right, with an assumption that your system has already been compromised. So the thing is, the C is the correct answer. And VA is a vulnerability scanning. It means that finding out the vulnerability in your respective system. Okay, correct. The hypothesis, correct, Mohan. Okay, and the B is a penetration testing. Penetration testing means that finding out the vulnerability and exploiting them as well. Okay, that's what we have. Threat hunting means that making up an assumptions that your system has already been compromised and then investigating, keeping that particular mind in mind. You're just building up an hypothesis that your system has been compromised, right? But you're still not able to track up the attackers. They are still hiding, using up some kind of tools in place, right? That's the thing. And war driving means that, guys, you're driving, just looking for the open Wi-Fi's in place. Okay. And then you're going to attack them or just going to exploit them up. That's what we have in the war driving part. Okay. So let's see what the correct answer for this is. The correct answer, guys, is the threat hunting. Okay. Perfect.